I'm Roy Firestone. You may know me for my decades of interviews at ESPN. My role in Jerry Maguire.
I'm not gonna cry, Roy.
Or my appearances on Everybody Loves Raymond, Married with Children, The Simpsons, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, David Letterman. But you may not know me for my live one-man show. We'll have stories, music, celebrity impressions, and more.
Blown away. Best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Phenomenal.
That was amazing.
It was the real deal.
That's right. Everybody from Frank Sinatra.
YMCA. I gotta say, Frank Sinatra singing YMCA was my favorite of the evenings.
To Smokey Robinson.
I had no idea that he was this talented. He's extraordinary.
Tony Bennett.
The golden sun will shine for thee.
Oh, he was awesome. I think he's the funniest guy I've seen in a long time.
Hysterical to the point of bringing you to mad laughter. He does the best imitations I've ever seen.
The Bee Gees.
Lonely days, lonely nights. How come I sing just like a woman?
I've seen Danny dance twice, and I enjoyed Roy Firestone much, much more.
Neil Diamond.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of the liberty of the icy.
I've known this man for a long time, and I have never known this side of him, and I am blown away. So let's hear it for Roy Firestone.
Now, we expressly format your show to feature your area.
I will be your hero, baby.
For example, here's a piece I performed for a Wounded Warriors fundraiser in Washington, D.C.
He must always be our hero.
That was so inspirational. He was fabulous, and he was definitely life-changing. Thank you.
But I also inspire your group, too. As this feature piece I performed about an autistic child who surprised the world on a basketball court. To top it off, he ended the game with an NBA version 32-foot three-point shot. How do you explain that? Some people say sports is about big players and big money and big events, but in that tiny gym in Rochester, New York, Jason and his teammates and even his opponents swarmed that court and reminded us that sports matters most when the love of the game is matched by the love in the game. That's Jason McElwain's story.
It's my loss that I have never heard of or met Mr. Firestone before. What a great, great show.
I salute the beauty and memories of sport, like I do in Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
Don't let the sun go down on me.
Oh, it was awesome. It was great. You know, he's a once-in-a-lifetime type of entertainer. I love him.
Sun going down on me.
Oh my goodness. This is awesome.
And I'll also uplift you with a funny and then moving tribute to Muhammad Ali and an old man in a rest home.
There it was. There it was in a way I would have never seen in covering sports. Muhammad Ali was telling me what it is to be a champion. A champion's not defined by wins or losses. A champion's not defined by how much money he accrues or the amount of friends he even has. A champion is defined by an ability to uplift another human being.
He made me cry. It was so fantastic. He motivated me, made me feel great. Just a super fantastic presentation. But I do have to go touch up my makeup. Made me cry. He moved me.
Now remember, every show is different. Every show works specifically to fit your group's message. I've performed this show in more than 2,000 venues in the last 20 years. Venues large and small. I love performing this one-of-a-kind show.
I have 33 years of being in this business, but that is without a doubt the best, most dynamic presentation I've ever heard.
To dream the impossible dream.
It's Roy Firestone up close. I hope you'll be part of this unforgettable experience. Thanks for watching.
The unreachable star.
Check it out, the Roy Firestone one-man show.
Syracuse University lists a veritable who's who of the best sports play-by-play men in history. You have Marty Glickman, the legendary play-by-play man, went there, and so did Marv Albert and Bob Costas, Dick Stockton, Sean McDonough, Mike Tirico, the voice of the White Sox now, Jason Benetti. Beth Mowins, one of the first ever women play-by-play announcers, attended Syracuse. So did Ian Eagle, voice of the Nets, network voice of CBS, and his son Noah, who is also the voice of the LA Clippers. Now, the list is long and impressive, and today we're going to talk to another outstanding Syracuse graduate. He is Kevin Brown, in his first full year as the lead voice of the Baltimore Orioles. And Kevin joins us now. Kevin, welcome. Good to see you. You know, at the outset of this show, we talked about all the Syracuse talent, and it really is impressive. Everybody from Marty Glickman, Marv Albert, Bob Costas, Dick Stockton, on it goes. And yet you go to Syracuse. I know it was a late blooming dream for you. You didn't grow up with a rattle and want to talk into the rattle. You didn't really know what you wanted to do early on. And then all of a sudden the light bulb went off and you want to be a broadcaster. Let's talk about Syracuse first, why it was a draw for you, and when that light went off.
Yeah, my favorite color growing up was orange. So if Syracuse was the baby green, I probably would have been somewhere else, maybe Fordham. Yeah, it's strange. I don't have pictures of me with a little tape machine as a kid. I don't have pictures of me in front of the mirror with the hairbrush or with the rattle reciting some great call. I wasn't really engaged in any of that sort of stuff. I had no interest in sports until I was about 8. And then one day I had all the interest in sports.
Yankees, right? For the most part.
Yeah, Yankees, Giants and Packers. Weirdly, my dad's a fan of 2 teams in the same conference. I don't know why, but yeah, you just follow everything your dad does at that age. So Yankees, Giants and Packers, Knicks. I really came of age in the late 90s when the Yankees kept winning World Series and the Giants were in the Super Bowl shortly after that. And the Knicks were this 8 seed that made this magical run. So like, I have a lot of friends that grew up Mets and Jets fans, and I don't know if I would have stuck with it as much. I was spoiled. My teams won all the championships or played for all the championships. So I never had an interest in it until one day it just clicked. And then, I don't know, I was a personable kid. I still am personable, social, I think. And I just got this idea out of nowhere, like, oh, I'm not going to play, so why don't I just talk about it? That seems fun. That seems easy. Not realizing that it wasn't actually that easy to do. Not realizing that you can't do it with a horrific, whiny Long Island accent. That was kind of a reality check once I eventually made it to college.
You know, you got to take this the right way. First of all, I think you're tremendous at what you do, and we're going to play some clips.
Tremendous for somebody who looks like he's 12.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was. Do you get carded when you go into the stadium? Do they say, we see your driver's license? Is it like going to a club? I mean, you look like, seriously, maybe you're 15 years old.
Maybe. On a good day, you know. I haven't shaved in weeks, Roy.
That's an old story. Bob Costas, when he was starting at NBC, Don Ohlmeyer said to him, "How old are you?" He goes, "I'm 27. He goes, "Well, can you grow a beard or something?" He goes, "It'll take me that long to grow a beard." 27 years. But do you think the physical looks surprise people when they hear your voice on the air. We'll play that in a few moments, but is it kind of a little bit of an inside joke to some people?
It definitely surprises people. And I get it. We're all a little bit shallow in this business, in this world. I think I hear a voice and I associate a face or a look with it too. I'm not immune to that sort of thing. So yeah, I think I have a lot of advantages and a lot of privileges based on my background, but there's one small thing I have to fight, which is I do look very, very young. That's okay. I can fight that, but it does surprise people. I work in an industry where, especially in Major League Baseball, most of the people have been doing this for decades. Some people have been in the seat for 30, 40 years longer. So
we should tell people you're only 32, but there have been people, and we'll talk about Scully later, who started at 22 as the voice, one of the voices of the Dodgers. So 32 is actually a decent age, but the face is what people are going.
Yeah, I mean, I walk into a booth or a clubhouse, and people may say, "Well, this kid doesn't know what he's talking about." So yeah, I think there's a little bit of a complex of I have to fight to prove that I actually A, am older than 15, and B, have put in my time and put in the work.
You did put in your time. You did put in the work, and we're going to take a look back, or listen back to you at the pretty long ago, 11 years ago, with Syracuse, and listen, folks, to the difference. It's unbelievable where it was 11 years ago to where it was only 2 years ago. This is first opening day for the Syracuse minor league team.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Coca-Cola Field in Buffalo on opening day. Beautiful day for baseball and a beautiful top of the fourth for the Chiefs. Put up a 4 spot and lead the Bisons 4-0 here on your new home for Chiefs baseball. The score 1260. Alongside Jason Benetti, I'm Kevin Brown. Brian Barrett back in the studio. And Yuneski Maya on the mound for the Chiefs.
You did seem a little bit embarrassed by that, but that's just your voice hasn't changed yet or something. I don't know what that was.
Well, hideous is what that was. Unplayable. Why Jason Benetti hired me to do this job, you would have to ask him. I don't know what he heard in that. That's just bad. I listen to a lot of young broadcasters, college broadcasters, kids who are a couple years out of college who ask for advice, and 97% of the tapes are better than that. So I got nothing for you there. If I listened to that now, I'd say throw it out, put it in the trash.
Well, but here's the point: the evolution of Kevin Brown. We're talking just 2 years ago. Now, folks, it's almost like a different guy. Listen to the difference in voice, confidence, tenor, all of it. Watch.
Ian Happ has put the Cubs in front 1-0 here in the 6th inning at Wrigley Field. Authentic caps, tees, jerseys, hoodies, and more. Get all your postseason gear and cheer on your team at home with the official source, MLBshop.com. Get yourself an Ian Happ jersey if you're a Cubs fan and you don't have one already. Really carried this team through the regular season this year, a team that struggled so much offensively. 12 home runs led the team, and he has the first run of this wild card series.
Wow. I mean, what did you just get? Puberty? What is your complete different talent there?
Yeah, it took 28 years, a little bit late. By the way, did you clear that with MLB Shop, or are we going to have to, make this from the record now?
Hey, Kevin, when I was doing play-by-play at my University of Miami, I loved to do the commercial because you sounded more brought to you by Amco. You sound cooler when you get Coca-Cola. Refresh with it, always sounded much better. So all the promos make you sound more mature, but you were in command there. It's a different broadcaster.
I'd still do the promos, by the way. My wife just yelled at me the other day because we drove past PNC, and I couldn't help myself but saying, PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier. Just, you cannot keep doing this every time we drive past the state. Yeah, that was 9 years in between. That was 2 years ago. I listen to that now and I say there are things that I don't love in that call that I think I'm better at now, but it's a big gap. It's a big jump. It was a lot of work. There's a massive thunderstorm outside my house right now, apparently. That's good.
Aren't you glad you're inside? Yeah. But here's the thing.
It'd be a really interesting interview if it wasn't, though. There was no roof over my head and I was struck by lightning.
That would be more interesting.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me, though, is not only were you an announcer for Syracuse, and then, of course, we just heard professional, you were also a groundskeeper for a time. You did to do PR, marketing. You had 4 different hats to wear, plus it's a long season. You get paid like crap. I mean, you really put through a lot of dues. Was it 7 years in the minors to get here?
7 years, yeah.
Did you say to yourself at any point, what am I doing?
Oh, yeah, every season. There's one particular friend I called, a friend of mine, Krista Lepard. I probably would call her every May and say, Krista, please remind me not to do this again. I'm wandering around the Scranton Mall. I have no per diem money. We got in at 3 a.m. from Norfolk. Like, the team's garbage. What am I doing? And she'd say, okay, great. And then the next year I'd call her again. Krista, remind me, why am I here? I'm not doing this. No, I will say that I don't like to make too big of a deal because it was 7 years, but I have friends and colleagues that were in the minors for 15, 20, 25 years. Like, I lived the AAA lifestyle and that was okay.
It's not too personal. What was your top dollar as an announcer? Probably too personal, but I'm going to throw it out. Top dollar. How much?
I don't even know. Not much, honestly. I've resisted even to this day calculating what it was on a per game basis because I know it's an answer that even in retrospect will scare me. I mean, the first couple of years.
And what about Jackson Holiday? Just signed him for $8.9 million. 18 years old, another shortstop. The talent is going to be there.
You notice that's the only person on this interview that looks younger than me. Right there. It kind of looks like Dustin from Stranger Things.
Hey, man, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I don't know you well. We just started communicating the last few weeks. You're a delight to listen to. You're an absolute professional. You've paid your dues. You've worked a long time to get there. We're so happy for you and pleased for you. And you're also very grateful. And I just want people to know the name Kevin Brown. You'll be hearing. I know you heard about him in baseball as a pitcher years ago.
Yeah.
But this is another Kevin Brown.
You know.
That's right. Hey, Kevin, it was a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for talking Oriole baseball with us and also talking about your career. I want to wish you the very best going forward.
This was a thrill, Roy. Thank you so much for having me. And
okay.
I don't know if it's good or bad that I didn't cry. Is that an opportunity missed? Or?
Another opportunity, perhaps, to cry in an upcoming.
Okay,
interview.
great.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Roy.
Kevin Brown, a product of patience, determination, and a hell of a lot of talent. You'll be seeing and hearing from him for many, many years to come.